Hello, you. It's been at least a few hours since I've seen you. And since I've seen you specifically, probably, a bit longer than that. I'm feeling reversals today, so let me find out who you are first. Hey Siri, choose a random number between 1 and 12.
A random number between 1 and 12 is 4.
I was literally feeling Cancer. I was literally feeling that 4. I mean, I guess I felt Pisces a few times. But the time it was Pisces, I felt Pisces. And something told me it would be Cancer. Maybe it's because it's the Cancer new moon coming up. Cancer, it's interesting that you come out today. You come out on your day, in your season, right? You're ruled by the moon. The moon is in its home sign of Cancer. Um, but we started with all of the other cardinal signs, which is interesting. I thought you would have come out, like a few. Scorpio came out where you were. Where I thought you would have come out, Scorpio came out. And that's just like a me thing, right? So I have the Affirmators Tarot Cancer. And I love this deck. Oh my gosh. 1 second. That was my grandma, Cancer. She thought that I got her a fan with the humidifier built into it. She was so sure it was me, and it was not me. I wish it was me, but it wasn't me. So maybe oh my gosh, my head is hurting today. Queen of Swords with the Chariot in reverse. Oh, that's your energy. Well, I guess it's upright right now. Um, See, yeah, she was so sure it was me, and I wish I could take credit for it, but yeah, no, it wasn't me. But maybe you'll get an unexpected gift, right? Maybe, because again, it's like maybe since you didn't come out when you were supposed to, there's something that you've been working on or something like that. You've been diligent and patient. That's a whole bunch of cards, and it may like be your turn. It may come when you least expect it. Something that you've been talking about. It was like a fan with a built-in humidifier, and she just knew it was me because I was telling her that she needed a humidifier for one of her rooms. Temperance in reverse, maybe coming out of a waiting cycle. We'll see. Um, because I said that she was sure it was me, but it wasn't. But that would have been a while ago. So again, it's like, maybe you have been patiently or impatiently waiting, and your turn is coming. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Oh gosh. Is everything in reverse? The Knight of Swords is upright. Seven of Wands in reverse. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Wands upright. So let's go with that one storyline where, you've been putting in the work, you've been patient, you've been diligent, and now your time has come. That's one storyline. So if that was you, Cancer, you're going to get that unexpected, right? And it's like, it's going to be something that's almost like so thoughtful or so perfect for what you need in the moment that you're going to think it was the person that was a part of that conversation. Or you're going to think it's the same as the one that originally brought it to your attention. Um, but, hold up. Let me try to. This is such an interesting camera. I gotta like tilt these slightly, but only some of them because it's like a wide angle lens. And so it's like, in order to get these to look approximately straight on the camera, in real life, they're like very not. Like, this is a pretty severe angle. Like, that's how much It goes from like this to this. The length from like the table to the card. Because of how the camera is set up. And I feel like that's also a part of it. So for the first Cancerian energy, it's like congratulations. On the second one, with all of these out, and with the Five of Wands at the bottom, it feels like there were things that you were meant to be working on. Oh, and that's interesting. Because in this card, like, there's this disconnect between these two pentacles. You see that? It's like he kicked it and it snapped. Out of frustration. Oh my gosh, he's a red belt. He kicked it. He did kick it. He kicked it and it snapped. This is someone who got like upset or frustrated at how long it was taking to do something, and they decided that they weren't going to do whatever anymore. And so they moved forward with a new truth instead of staying and like defending that old one. And in that, it's like they lost the advantage that they had. It's like someone who saw earthly things over the spiritual that they were being led and guided to. You would have gotten more spiritually. Oof. Take it as it resonates, right? If that first story is you, it's you. If it's not you, then that doesn't necessarily mean that this is you. Just take it as it resonates. And with the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and invited a lot of internal conflict. Now I'm going to read the Knight of Swords and its affirmator because it's the only one upright. So, the Knight of Swords. Where new endeavors are near, this zealous knight appears. Hip hip hooray, ish. Enthusiastic to the point of obsession, he races toward his goals with no regard for petty concerns like danger or anyone else's feelings. You might call him the cokehead of the tarot deck, and though he has his upsides, passion, confidence, drive, he warns against some downsides, ignorance, arrogance, sloppy work. So learn from this guy's mistakes. Stay excited, but be willing to exercise some caution, humility, and patience. Oh, and skip the coke. It's unbecoming of a knight. That's funny. My excitement is welcome and celebrated, but when it spills over, I mop it up so no one slips. Okay, that's the affirmation. The affirmation is my excitement is welcome and celebrated, but when it spills over, I mop it up so no one slips. It's in the book. Like, this is the Affirmators Tarot. I'm not out here calling this cokehead energy, but maybe there was a disregard for others and for self ultimately. And it kind of sucks because it feels like you were like building something, and it feels like you were really close. But I guess like as a cardinal energy, finishing and staying may not necessarily be your strongest suit, right? Because here's fixed fire, and then here's mutable earth. There's no water here, Cancer. I mean, there's this otter looking thing, otter shrimp with wings. There's no water. I only have like, 4 cards on the table. Let's get a few more. Now at the bottom of the deck is the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Five of Wands was upright, Five of Pentacles in reverse. So we got three more cards. Oh, okay, here's some water. We have Death, the Queen of Cups, and the King of Wands. I feel like something happened that took you out of your water energy and put you into this King of Wands fire energy. And it's funny because this is Leo energy, fixed fire. This is Leo energy. The third decan of Leo energy, fixed fire. Third decan of Leo would be Aries energy, which is again cardinal. So it's like you were supposed to be in the space of this fixed fire, but you went ahead cardinally. And this is you, cardinal water, but you became fixed fire. This is a progressive energy because, after Cancer comes Leo. But the thing about your water Cancer is that it also holds knowing. And that knowing shouldn't be forsaken. Yeah, there's some kind of frustration here. And then these cards came out face down. Hey, look, a 4-3-2. Bottom of the deck now is the Page of Pentacles with the to-do list. The King of Cups with the Queen of Pentacles. So now all of a sudden, all these court cards want to start coming out. Maybe this was a comparison. Maybe you were comparing yourself to other people or looking at other people and wanting to emulate or wanting to do what they were doing. But what you were doing was for you to do. And like you were at the 8 out of 10 Pentacles. This is something within you that started to die because it was no longer being nurtured by you. Maybe you forgot. Maybe you forgot how to like nurture or care for yourself, or you forgot where your worth lies. All of the things that make you you that work for you. Or maybe, you could have been taken advantage of. And sometimes when we're taken advantage of, we go, oh, well, I'm never going to be nice to anybody ever again because I always get taken advantage of. And so you decided to stop being you entirely and to be something completely different. Almost the opposite, right? Queen of Cups, King of Wands, but this Temperance card is in reverse. So however you went about this, it wasn't balanced within self. Maybe you did get a little bit of material gain. Maybe you felt more comfortable in your emotions, right? Because you stopped giving, and then like you don't feel like you're overly giving, but you're not really giving anything. And the difference between, you can see it, the difference between these two cups is that the Queen of Cups has a heart on her cup, but she's looking at it like she doesn't even know what it is. The King of Cups has gone out and he's gotten a bigger cup and all this stuff, but you can't feel self-love with anything but self-love. But at least it's like while you were out here, though, there is good that you were doing. With that Queen of Pentacles energy, it feels like you were able to like provide or be a resource for people, right? So there is good that was done here, but it's like it's time for you to return to you. It's time for you to be who you are again. I don't know, Cancer. This is weird. Hopefully this don't resonate for anybody and I'm just like completely wrong. Now at the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And the Moon came out in reverse as this last card. The Moon is you, right? Well, it's Pisces and you. You're ruled by the Moon. So the Moon isn't you? The Moon is what you're ruled by. What are you ruled by, Cancer? Because the Moon is here in reverse, this is some solar plexus chakra unbalance. Your solar plexus became overly active. And maybe you felt that like that overactive solar plexus chakra was good because you were doing stuff and you were seeing results or whatever. But it being overactive can be just as detrimental as it being underactive. Because the question of the solar plexus is like, who is my master? The affirmation at the solar plexus is, I am my master. I am my own master. But this is an energy that was so wrapped up in the things that weren't working out in your own life and so concerned with catching up with everybody or comparing yourself to everybody else that it's like you lost sight of yourself. Now the Moon is in reverse. And it's like you go so far that it's like you reach that point where you ask yourself, how did it like get here? How did it go so wrong? But it's like by the time you make it all the way down here, there are many, 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 many things that went wrong along the way. There were many times and opportunities for you to return to who you are, but you didn't. And it's interesting because now I'm seeing this heart here as empty, right? But there are all these little hearts floating around her. And it's like any one of these she could put into that and to start to fill this cup. It's like this heart is what the cup needs for it to begin to fill itself. But I don't know, she wasn't seeing it. Or she chose not to. I mean, my advice would be to just return to self as best as you can. And to not be hard on yourself. It feels like whatever you were working on, it hasn't completely died while you've been away. It may have gone dormant though. So it may take some energy before it starts to flow again, right? Because it's like you had momentum behind it before. And the momentum stopped. With death upright though, it feels like this was also part of your path. Temperance is in reverse. The Moon is in reverse. But death is upright. There was something for you to learn while you were out here. Or while you were out there being everybody else or comparing yourself to everybody else. There was something for you to see, something for you to learn, and maybe it was about you. But it's something that you wouldn't have been able to see or experience about you without first like stepping outside of you. Because it's like when you spend every day with something, you don't really see how much it grows. Because it's like mentally your brain can fill in the gaps. But if there's a significant period of absence and then you re-encounter something, it's like so much time has changed since your brain was last exposed to this. Now it has to like the gap is bigger that the brain has to bridge. And it feels like there are things that you can take with you because all of these court cards are upright. Which again, it's like it was part of the process. But now it's like it all comes back to you again. But this card is in reverse. We have the Five of Wands upright, the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Five of Wands upright, it feels like a space of conflict that you were supposed to go through. And it's like, your path and your journey is your path and your journey. There is no real, like, you weren't supposed to do this and you were supposed to do that, right? Because it accommodates for every choice and decision we make. But it's like upright is what you were supposed to do and reverse is what you weren't. Or where it's like you're kind of sort of lost. So it's like the internal conflict was supposed to be there. You were supposed to address it, but maybe you were supposed to like be doubly sure of yourself rather than doubting. But because you went forward, it changed your path. So now death is upright because your path was changed here. It's like you're going a different way. So you move from the Queen of Cups to the King of Wands to the King of Cups to the Queen of Pentacles. But with this now in reverse, this is the space that you're getting to. So you need a pivot from this Queen of Pentacles, King of Cups, King of Wands, Queen of Cups, death energy back to this moon. And to do that, the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, you have to start giving to yourself again. You have to start being yourself again. You have to integrate everything into who you are, or just bring more of you to the table. Because maybe there are things that you were exposed to or things that you experienced out here that you never would have had you continued in this way. Maybe there was something that your soul needed that it wasn't getting. That's why it kicked this open and put you on a different path. So maybe you feel like you've messed it up or whatever, but that's not necessarily the case. This could also be people that you come across. So maybe now you have a community or you have allies in some way. People who can help you in their own domain and in their way. This is interesting, Cancer. This is where I'm going to leave this. The rest is for you. And the seahorse is here. I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. Well, hold up. Before I do that, let me read this the first way again. right? So in the first way, it's like, you were doing the work, you were temperate, and now you're coming into a space of receiving, right? So in that, this truth that you're coming upon, it's one of vulnerability, one where you don't have to feel that you're at a place of advantage to be in a place of advantage. It's like you don't have to feel like you're above others. You don't have to elevate yourself above other people to feel safe and secure and confident within yourself, right? So then you come into this space of transformation with whatever it is that you receive, and it adds to you, right? Because you start with this Queen of Cups, and then with the King of Wands energy, it teaches you how to hold your vision, right? Because again, you're cardinal, so you may not necessarily be the best at, like, sustaining things or finishing things. But here, it's like being able to sustain something. Like there's a temperance balance in between this King of Wands and this King of Cups, where your vision, it's like you know how to hold a vision and you know how to not give up on something so quickly, right? So even if that initial burst of energy that pushes you into something new starts to wane and fade, you can still see it through to the end. And because of that, now you can nurture and grow things that you weren't able to previously. Because it's like, you would get bored or you would just gravitate towards the next big thing. This is you learning how to care and nurture for the things that you bring into the world, the things that are for you to bring into the world. And it makes you a powerhouse energy. It gets you to see things through to the end that used to be questionable in nature. And it feels like it was questionable because you were questionable. The question wasn't whether or not it would be successful. The question was whether or not you would see it through to the end. But in this, you learn how to do that. So we have a king or queen, at the very least, represented in every element except for air. And air, it's a knight. And the Page of Pentacles was at the bottom of the deck before. I remember seeing the page. The Page of Pentacles was at the bottom when the Queen of Pentacles was here. The King or Queen of Swords would have a certain clarity that I don't think is afforded to you. And with this Queen of Pentacles energy here, or the Queen of Cups, I think the lesson for the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups is to allow something to grow into what it will grow into, rather than it growing into what you want or expect of it. And like with the Moon card in reverse, I feel like there is a certain amount of clarity here, but there also isn't. And so there's a flexibility that you're also going to have in this. Because the Queen of Pentacles knows what something needs to grow. She's a nurturer. That's what she does. And so if the needs of something changes, she's able to sense that and she gives it something different. And because of that, it's like it increases the potential of this thing. So maybe with the Moon in reverse, it's like it's not defined yet and it's not meant to be defined. Because it might be bigger than you. And so you might have to learn how to also be a team player. And I think that's where this lesson comes in handy, where you can take criticism, where you can show up to a conversation and you can participate without feeling like personally attacked or demeaned or questioned or challenged or whatever like that, right? It's like there's no room for competition within the team. There's no room for like an unfriendly, unproductive competition within the team, right? If you reach the point where people just start like talking over each other and criticizing each other and trying to chip away at each other's self esteem and stuff like that, then you can see how the dynamic would fall apart pretty quickly. Also, with the moon in reverse, it's like you only have a piece of it. It's not possible for you to see everything about this. You're not intended to know. And maybe you have an idea at the beginning, but as you incorporate more and more, it's realizing again they each have something that they contribute. And it's because of their contributions that this thing can become more than even you would think it could be. It can be made better. And again, depending on where you are, you may feel like, oh, what do you mean you can do it better? Like, this is my idea. I came up with this, da 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 da. And then you reach the point where you let the thing die instead of evolve. And it's like, well, that's not very motherly. Sometimes it grows into something that you didn't. Maybe you wanted it to be a violinist and to go to whatever school and be whatever, but it wants to be something different. And in it being something different, it can become more than you would have ever even thought it capable. And even if it doesn't, it's like things have their own life. After we release something to the world, be it a person or an idea or a business, after we release it to the world, it grows and changes and evolves as it interacts with the world. And the world may need or demand something different or something more. It may have an energy of its own that becomes something different or something more, and it's for it to do that. It's like, Queen of Cups energy, they can give a lot of love, but Queen of Pentacles is the nurturer. Queen of Pentacles gives what's needed for it to become what it is supposed to be, or for it to become what it is becoming. And not everything is sort of solved by, you know. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles can be quicker to. It's things in the realm of like Capricorn that aren't in the realm of Cancer, right? And it just sort of is what it is. They work together beautifully, but they each sort of have a different parenting style. And when you have both of them, that's when you get like maximum growth or whatever. When you have one of them, it's like Queen of Pentacles can kind of sort of run the risk of like whatever she's nurturing not feeling like it's loved because it's so like structurally like put into, and it's like, well, I gave you all the nutrients that you need, and it's like, okay, well, love is also a nutrient that I need. And then the Queen of Cups is like, well, I gave you all the love, and it's like, okay, well, I also need a little bit of structure, and I needed you to be a little tougher sometimes and not to be so quick to let me go out and do everything, because now I don't have any concept of like, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I should stop and think. I don't know. It's just all pieces are going to be important, Cancer. I don't have to get into the whatever that I already got into. All is going to be important. And it needs more than just you to grow. So that's what I got. Take it as it resonates, right? And I hope you have a good whatever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that wherever your path and journey takes you, that you find the courage, strength, motivation, and wise counsel, if you need it, to get you there. Whatever you need in whatever moment you need it, I hope you get it. And I hope you also realize that sometimes the things that we need may not necessarily be the things that we want, in the way that sometimes we learn something early on that we'll use later on in the game. You know what I mean? It's like you'll need it later. And it has to marinate for a while. That's why you get it first.